Slamdown is sponsored by Body Slam and Jam and WWE Smack Talk. Welcome to another show of Slamdown live stream. Today we're going to be covering about everything Smackdown. For me, it was a really good show. I was really impressed with every part. I can't really pick fault with anything at the moment. Definitely a lot better than Raw. I've got to say, Smackdown is, in my opinion, the A show and Raw is the B show. I was very critical on Raw, and I still stand by my opinion where Impact was better than Raw. But I can't say Impact was better than SmackDown. For this week, for me, SmackDown was the better show. If I had to put it in order, it'd definitely be SmackDown, then Impact Wrestling, and then Raw. Reason I'm only saying them three shows because they're the only three I watch, because it's the only three I have time to watch. I'm just. It was even the fine detail of the show as well. It just runs so smoothly. I was invested in the whole show. I didn't fast forward any matches like I do with Raw. It just makes me question. I'd love to know who writes SmackDown and who writes Raw. I know Paul Heyman is more involved with Raw now, but Raw just feels meh, and I'm not too keen on part-timers having all the big pushes, and that's one reason why I really Raw. I tune out, You've got guys there that's been there for week in, week out, and doing live events, and they don't get used correctly. There's a lot of mismanaging with Raw, a lot of bad booking, and like I said, this is why I'm so invested in SmackDown, because I think SmackDown does a better job. But we're going to sort of digest the show in a second. I'm just sorting all the little things out, making sure I've shared this out to all the pages. I'll share it out. So let's get into the show. At the start of the show, we saw AJ Styles calling out the SmackDown Live front office, calling out Shane. AJ Styles was very upset about that he wasn't going to be at WrestleMania. Upset that Orton had the main event place. Especially when he won his match, and then suddenly not happy that Raw, and suddenly decides he wants back in to the WrestleMania match after giving it up, and just not happy about his whole treatment about his career. After that, we saw Becky Lynch taking on Natalya. Now, both really good workers. I think Natalya's a phenomenal worker. Same with Becky Lynch. It was a good match. It was a solid 3 for me. really enjoyed it. The right person won, with being Becky Lynch, and I liked that Carmella came out and interfered in the match as well, because obviously she'll probably be involved in the WrestleMania match for the women's title. Still don't know what type of match it is, we just know every woman's involved. After that, we saw the Miz TV, slated John Cena and Nikki Bella. They came out. The Miz and Maurice came out of the ring, and they said there's going to be a match at WrestleMania. We knew this was going to happen for a long time. It was predicted, and it's spot on. I do think it's probably going to be Nikki Bella's last. I think she's phasing out. Don't know about John Cena, though. I don't know if John Cena's going to be staying with the company, if he's leaving the company, or if he's just going to be doing all this promo work he's been doing. I do think they can probably survive without Cena now being on the wrestling show, so I think these two are probably going to be on their way out, but still be involved, just not on TV. After that, we had Mickie James taking on Alexa Bliss, which was another good match. Quite surprised that Mickie James got the nod over Alexa Bliss. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if they're building up Mickie James. I don't know if Mickie James is going to get the title next. It's all wait and see, really, on this. And it's going to be interesting to see. Is it going to be all of the people that's already on SmackDown, or is there going to be new people to SmackDown that's going to debut on the Divas match at WrestleMania? But it was a good, solid match. So I'm going to give it a solid 3 again. Solid 3. Now, this is probably my favourite moment of the match. We saw AJ Styles ambush Shane McMahon. And stuff like this we don't see often anymore. Attitude Era, we saw this all the time. People getting attacked backstage and thrown into car windows. And we used to see that all the time. Nowadays, it's not so much. It's sort of phased out. So this is why I think another reason SmackDown is superior is this part. You know, we saw AJ Styles coming, attacking Shane, throwing him all over the place, and then shoving his head into a car window. Makes me excited for WrestleMania if there's going to be a match between them two, but it worries me a bit because AJ Styles is more of an artist and more of an acrobat, where Shane McMahon will just likes to be beaten and doing an off risk here and there. But even though I'm a bit sceptical, I still feel they could probably pull off a good match, as long as it's going to be Shane taking beatings. But I do think this is possibly going to lead to AJ Styles being moved to Raw. Because after that attack, Daniel Bryan found AJ Styles and fired him. So I'm wondering if he's going to stay off SmackDown with being fired. And I think they might do, if WrestleMania he wins his match, he gets his place back, he loses, he leaves his SmackDown. So I think it's going to be something on those lines. Then we saw Mojo Rawley. Not a big fan of Mojo Rawley. He's an okay mid-carder at best, is the best way I can describe Mojo Rawley. But we saw him taking off Dolph Ziggler. It was all right. It was a bit of a to and fro. Mojo Rawley kept throwing Dolph Ziggler over the rope to make a point, because they're both going to be in the Andre the Giant's Battle Royal match. Dolph Ziggler gave up, stayed outside the ring, let the ref get the count and walked away. After that, we had Bray Wyatt informed Randy Orton that he possesses the power of Sister Abigail, that he's absorbed her power, and then we saw him rubbing her ashes into himself. Good statement, good. It was good, solid. Couldn't fault it. I love Bray Wyatt at the minute. The way he's playing that character is perfect. It's like when Undertaker retires, I think Bray Wyatt is the one to take the Undertaker's place, but not take the Undertaker gimmick, continue what he's doing now. We saw the Usos taking on American Alpha. Now, I was enjoying this match. I didn't like where it kept split screening to show Shane McMahon. You know, these two teams are probably the best tag teams they have on the SmackDown, so they shouldn't be sectioning it off like that. I want to see the whole match. You know, show bits of Shane backstage before the match or after the match, not drawing. It's the one thing that winds me up. We saw the Usos pull in a solid performance, same with American Alpha, where the Usos managed to get the victory. Now, I would love to see the tag team titles goes on the Usos. I think the heel gimmick's working for them. It's working well. I'd love to see Revival come up from NXT and come into the SmackDown tag team division. I think it would enhance that division. But it was a good, solid match, except for that little bit that kept coming up every time it showed Shane. Yeah, I'll give it sort of 3. I've just seen the question. With your question on who the face and heel is, Bray Wyatt's the heel, Orton's the face. Orton played a heel to play mind games with Bray, you know, said, you know, to get into Bray's compound. Soon he got into Bray's compound, he set fire to the area where Sister Abigail was, the shed thing, and turned face. So he is face at the minute. After that, we saw Shane McMahon come out, even though being told that he needs to go to the hospital, and basically called AJ Styles out for WrestleMania. And sort of the show ended there. So it makes me looking forward to next week to see what's going to happen. What are they going to do next? Like I said, it was a good, solid SmackDown. Definitely better than Impact. So Impact had B-, so I'm going to have to give this B+. Can't give it an A, but I'll give it a B+ for me. It was a solid show. Can't fault anything with it. And I can't think of anything on the top of my head to fault it with. No. But yeah, that's about it for this show. I want to say a big thank you to everybody watching. We're back on Monday with the second part of Impact Review. We will be having Charles as co-host again, talking about the new era and digging into their second showing. So, again, big thanks for everybody watching. This has been your host, Ashley Friend, and I'll see you again Monday, 9 PM GMT.